This is Pre-Algebra Lesson 7-3, percent of change. The general idea here is we just are basing everything off of our formula. And the formula is the change, and I can make it very simple. I use this triangle symbol to mean change, and you can say over the original, or if you want to be a little bit more pedantic, if you want to say it a little bit longer, you can say it's the change over the original. Or I can even be very, very specific, and I can say it's the end minus the start, all of it divided by the start. All of these formulas are okay. Maybe you like this one because it's very specific. I like this one in my notes. Maybe you think about it this way in your head, whatever works for you. So I'll do a few examples. Everything in here is going to be a percent, thus the title, percent of change, right? So let's go with example 1. And I don't want to write the question over and over, but you're supposed to find the percent of change, and I'm just going to choose random numbers. 31 to 25. And I should also mention that everything today's lesson and yesterday's lesson is all about using a calculator to make this as easy as possible. So 31 to 25. And again, I'm going to say that this number right here was my start, and this number right here was my end. So I'm kind of using this formula right here to get from 31 to 25. Maybe I can do this in a different color. To get from 31 to 25, I had to subtract 6. So that's the definition of change. Or I could just do end minus start. If I do end minus start all over start, the end here is 25, and then the start was 31, and I'm again dividing by whatever I started with, or the original amount, which was in this case 31. Notice that 25 minus 31 is equal to negative 6, and we divide that by 31. These are the same formulas. Look at this. They all work. I change by negative 6. I change by negative 6. That's the change. That's the change. And the start or the original, all of these numbers are the same thing. They all mean the same thing. And I plug this into my calculator, and I see what number it spits out, and I move my decimal 2 to the right. So let's go ahead and split my view with the calculator. I'm going to type in negative 6 divided by 31, and you get this 0.193. So this is going to be, let's move you to the right a little bit, to the right a little bit. This is going to be, I'm approximating with a pen. This is going to be approximately equal to 0.193, negative 0.1935, 1935. Am I off the page? Dang it, I am. Here, I'm going to move all of these guys over a little bit. Shoink. And I need to convert that into a percent because the title of our lesson is a percent of change. So what percent did it change? And because we have a negative here, this is going to be a decrease. So again, I'm going to be moving the decimal 1, 2 to the right. And this is now going to be a 19.35%. And this is going to be decreased because of this negative symbol. This negative symbol is going to be decrease. And my handwriting is atrocious. Decrease. If it was a positive, it would be an increase. So we say 19.35% decrease. Let me give 2 more examples, and then I think that'll be good enough for you guys to be able to do the homework. Let's do example 2. Example 2, what if I say we went from, I was going to use 31 again. Let's choose a random number. We got like 75 to, I don't know, 85. So again, how much do we change? From 75 to 85, we had to add 10. So my fraction is going to be 10 over the original amount, in which case that's going to be 75. And I just plug that into the calculator. So again, let's go ahead and go to split view, 10 over 75. 10 divided by 75. I get 0.1333 repeating, so I can remember that. This is going to be about I thought I was going to remember, didn't I? It's 1333 repeating, 0.1333. I'm usually just stopping after 4 digits. In the instructions, I don't think it says how many digits to round to. Oh, nearest tenth, so maybe I should be doing that as well. That means 1 decimal place. If I'm rounding to 1 decimal place, this would have been a 19.4. So I'm going to go ahead and cross it off and change that to a 19.4. Whoa, that eraser is gigantic. 19.4, rounding to 1 decimal place. 19.4%. So if I'm having this 0.133, again, I'm moving the decimal 1 to the right to change it into a percent, and this is going to be a 13.3%. Again, I'm not including this 3 because I'm rounding to 1 decimal place, 13.3%, and because we have a positive number, notice that there's no negative, this is going to be an increase. Nice. I'll give you one example where you can have like over 100%. So it will be example 3, our final example. Example number 3. What if I go from 16 to, let's say, 37? 16 to 37, well, how much do I go from 16 to 37? And let's use an old-fashioned formula. We can say, oh, I'm going to do 37 minus 16 all over 16 in this case. You can use whatever formula you want. 37 minus 16 is 21 over 16. And again, you just type this into the calculator. So this is going to be approximately, let's see, 21 over 16. Come over here. I can say 21 divided by 16, 1.3125. 1.3125. 1.3125. And I need to move the decimal to the right to convert it to a percent. 1, 2, and this is going to be 131.25. But again, I'm going to round here to 131.3 because we're rounding to the nearest tenth, and that's going to be a percent. Notice that our answer here was a positive, which means I'm going to have an increase. Cool. Just be careful about your increase and decrease. When you have a negative number, it's going to be a decrease, and that concludes the entire lesson. But as a freebie for sticking around, I'll give you the first homework problem. So jumping into the homework, let's go ahead and do 95 to 17. So the way that I would do number 1, in fact, I think I'm going to do numbers 1 and 2 with you because you have so many problems. I'll do 1 and then maybe, just 1 and 2. So the way that we do number 1 is we say end minus start. So 17 minus 95, and we divide that by the original 95. So this is going to be, what is this going to be? 17 minus 95, well, I know it's going to be a negative. And what's 95 minus 17? I'll have to borrow from you and change you into a 15. 15 minus 7 is 8, so I can say 8, 7, so this is negative 78 all over 95. And again, I just type this into the calculator. So come over here to my calculator, and I say, I have a negative 78 divided by 95, and this is about, because I'm approximating, so wavy equal to sign, that's about negative 0.82105. I don't know how many decimal places I'll eventually need. And I'm basically done. I just need to move the decimal place, 1, 2. So this is going to be an 82 point, and then it's going to be 1 because the 1 is followed by a 0, so it doesn't get rounded up, and then it's going to be a percent. And then finally, we have to ask ourselves, is it an increase or decrease? Because you have to say increase or decrease. And in this one, we want to say decrease because there's a negative. We went down, so there's going to be a decrease. 82.1% decrease. Let's check. 82.1% decrease. And let's do number 2. So again, you're going to do end minus start all over start. In this case, the end is 48, and the start was 82, and we divide by the start, which was 82. So in this case, 48 minus 82, well, I know the answers can be negative because the larger number is negative, and I'm always doing big minus small. That's what I did in number 1. The bigger number is 82, the smaller number is 48, so I do that subtraction problem. I can't do 2 minus 8, so I'm going to borrow from this 8, maybe it's a different color. This can change u to a 7, u to a 12, and now I can do 12 minus 8, that's 4, and 7 minus 4 is 3, so there's going to be a negative 34 over that 82, and again, I just open up my calculator. So we'll go ahead and grab our calculator. I'm going to say, what is negative 34 divided by 82? I guess it's not really necessary to have that negative. And that's going to be, here, you slide over a little bit. This is approximately, because we are rounding here, negative 0.4146. 4146. And then we move the decimal place, right? So we say move 1, 2, and this is going to be 41 point, okay, do we say 4 or 41.5? We'll check it out. I want to say 4, but the number after the 4 is a 5 or greater, so I'm going to round it up to a 5, and I'll say 41.5, and then percent. Check it out. If this was a positive, then we would say increase, but it's a negative, so again, we say decrease like we did in number 1. Decrease. And then we box it. 41.5% decrease for number 2, 41.5% decrease in number 2. So just modeling, you're always checking your work. So those are the first 2 problems. Please continue on through number 12. And that concludes our lesson for 7-3. Thanks for watching.